it's Anne. Welcome to my first training for 2023. Happy New Year, gorgeous ladies. As you're hopping on, say hello, and we're in a new year. How did that happen? It happened so fast. Here we are in 2023, and if your goal is six figures or even multiple six figures, right? And you'd love to find out the roadmap to achieving that, that's what I'm going to be covering in this training today. It is going to sound so ridiculously simple, just like absolutely everything that I do and I teach, but I promise you this is exactly what I help my clients with, and they get incredible results, right? We can keep business really, really simple, and there are some cool things that we need to focus on, and so many things that we should just not waste our time on. I mean, we can do it if we have the time, if we enjoy it, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to judge anyone, but they're not necessary for success, right? So that's what I'm going to be talking about. As always, the more questions you ask, the more you will get out of this training. So please ask me anything, especially on a day like today when my brain is probably not at 100%, but I am going to try and do my best and make as much sense as I possibly can, right? But like I said, it is going to be very, very simple and it works. Drop a hashtag replay if you are catching the replay, and tag me on any questions that you have too, just in case I miss them while I'm live, or even if you have them while watching the replay, and I will answer absolutely every single person's question. Before I go any further, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Anne Ryan, for those of you who are new to my world. This is my Facebook group, and I'm a business mentor and mindset coach, and I help my clients who tend to be mostly coaches and consultants to package and position their value so they can earn more, work less, still have an incredible impact, right? And keep business super, super simple. And if you're not sure how I do this, check out the name of this group. It's about high ticket offers and high ticket strategies, and I help my clients to create and sell high ticket offers, essentially, yeah. And we put systems in place that allows them to earn multiple six figures working less than 4 hours most days. So today's training is focused on a roadmap for 2023, and before I get started on that, let me know, what is your financial goal for 2023? Do you have one? Have you set one? Or are you not a goal setter? Anything is fine. Just let me know. I'd love to know. What are the daily habits that you do, non-negotiable, to get you to where you need to be? Excellent question, Tamika. I am going to be covering exactly that in this training. What I'm talking about today are the daily habits, right? And this is part of the roadmap. What I'm going to be talking about today is also going to have some numbers, right? Because numbers are important, because what we measure, we can improve. And I am going to be talking about some numbers, so hopefully I'm able to talk about the numbers without sounding without confusing anyone, I should say, and hopefully it'll all make sense. So, tell me if you have set yourself a goal for 2023. Hey Jen, good to see you. And tell me what it is, if you're willing to share publicly, right? I've shared this before. If you aim small and play small, you'll receive small. If you aim small and play big, you'll still receive small. Yeah? So I'm talking about goals here. And if you aim big, set yourself this incredible big goal, but play small, you'll still receive small. If you aim big and play big, that's when you'll receive big. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? Right. So my recommendation, gorgeous ladies, at the start of 2023, and this is why it was really important for me to come and do this Facebook Live today and not next week when I'm feeling better, is, aim big, right? Because aim big, show up big, play big, and you'll receive big. And I don't mean, if you're on $5,000 or $10,000 to aim for $1 million. That's not what I'm sort of referring to. But don't just aim to cover your needs, but aim for your desires, right? And your needs will always be met. That's the key, right? So aim higher, because then your needs will always be met. And what I've found is the roadmap to 10K months, or like that 6-figure year, is different to the roadmap to a 7-figure year, or 100K months, or 80K months, or whatever that number is, right? And I'm going to touch a little bit on both, but I am going to be sort of focusing more on the 6 figures, because I feel like that's where most people are probably at. But let me know if you want me to look higher. Sort of talk a little bit more about the bigger numbers. Yeah, or multiple 6 figures, absolutely. Awesome, Tamika, 300K, consistent 50K months for Tanisha, 250K for Helen. Perfect. Consistent 10K months for you, Deb. Perfect, right? You know your situation, but think about what I said, because sometimes we aim too low and we play too small, and that will just keep us small, right? So food for thought, gorgeous ladies, food for thought. All right, so the one thing, I'm starting now, and you can actually make a note of these 6 things and hold me accountable to remember these 6 things, please. Number 1, offer. Number 2, audience. Number 3, let's call it content. Number 4, let's call it connection. I'm trying to think of one word. Number 5 is sales. And number 6 is delivery. I'm going to be talking about all 6 of these things, right? Because they're all part of the roadmap and they're all equally important. And, it is going to sound so simple, but this is the daily stuff that I do, and it is this simple, right? So tell me if I miss anything, in case I do miss anything. I'm not going to spend too much time. Hey Pascal, good to see you. Okay, 20K months, and in sterling, in pounds. Perfect. All right, so I'm not going to spend too much time on the offer, because I've actually created a really comprehensive training on high ticket offers that convert really, really well. So if you haven't seen that yet, if you haven't received that, we've offered it as a free gift for people who join this group. Hashtag high ticket, and we will get that to you, right? Because I don't want to spend too much time on that today. That's a whole 1 hour training in itself. It was about a 40-minute training. I tried to keep it short. So drop a hashtag high ticket, I'll get that to you. You need an incredible offer. However, before you go off creating offers, let me say a couple of things. Initially, when people are starting out, when coaches are starting out, consultants are starting out, I think it's good to start out one-to-one, right? And to just work with a small handful of clients to get a really good feel for your delivery, for what their needs are, and then to create a high ticket leveraged offer. Yeah. And so that's just food for thought. The second thing I would say is, don't go creating an offer entirely, right? You don't need it. You need the outline of the offer. You need to know what the deliverables are. You need to know the messaging for the offer is really key, and I'll touch on that right now. You'll need to know the highlights, what what you'll be delivering in the offer, but you don't have to create the offer. You can sell an offer before you create it. Yeah. And then you can deliver it and create it at the same time. Yeah. So let me ask a question. How many of you gorgeous ladies have at some point or another created an offer that hasn't sold? And I'm not here to shame you, right? I'm not here to shame you. That's not what this is about. But it's happened to us all. It's happened to me as well, right? And this is why it is, as long as we're clear enough on what the offer is, what the deliverables are, and the promise, the message, this is the key part, right, to selling it. That is enough to get started. Yeah. All right, cool. Let me just quickly check. My feed frozen, I missed number 6. All right, cool. I think you've got the answer to that. Yeah, delivery. All right, so high ticket. We'll get you the that high ticket training, Deb. All right, okay, let me keep going. Sorry, I need to start. Otherwise, I'm going to get lost in my own training because my brain is not 100% today. But it's a little bit foggy. But I'm doing my best. So, as long as you're clear on the messaging, that is the key, right? And the simplest way, I'm going to kind of get through this part pretty quickly, but again, I've covered this in other trainings as well, so if you need a bit more help, let me know. The simplest way to create a clear message is, I've got this in my notes, I'm going to just put this into clear message equals I help ideal clients, so who is your ideal client, to achieve a desired outcome without a particular pain point by following a particular method or your method, right? Or a particular system or something like that. Now, this doesn't have to be like, this is not a hard and fast 100% black and white rule. You don't have to have every single thing in this one sentence. But if you're really clear on this sentence, you'll nail your offer. Yeah, you'll get really, really clear on this. I hope everybody else isn't experiencing tech issues. I'm sorry, Marie, and I know Coach Sue, you mentioned that too. I hope everyone else is all right, because I think my Wi-Fi is fine. But let me know. I'm going to keep going, and the replays always tend to be okay. So let me know. And okay, thanks, Jacelyn. All right. Okay. The more tangible you can get about the desire, the easier it is going to be to sell your offer, right? And let me give you another quick tip about the offer piece. Don't sell your product. Don't sell what it is that you do. Whether it's hypnosis, whether it's Reiki, whether it's, even if you're helping people with self-love or something else, that is not necessarily what we need to sell. What we need to sell is the result that they will achieve when they've worked with you. So the Reiki or the hypnosis or the self-love or whatever leads to something else. They're not just hiring you for the thing that you do. Does this make sense? Am I explaining myself well? Okay. Pascal, I'm not sure exactly what you mean by I'm not. Let me know if what you mean there, but okay, cool. All right, hopefully that makes sense, right? So we don't want to sell our product or our offer. We want to sell the result that our clients are going to achieve once they've worked with us, and the message that I shared before is a good way to get really, really clear on that, right? So for example, my clients, the women who want to work with me, right? They want to reach 10K to 30K months, right? And I have a range. Yeah. I'm getting more and more clients who now want to reach 50K and 100K months too. Yeah. They want to reach between 10K to 30K months, and, and they want to achieve that in a particular period of time. And in my case, I talk about doing it through high ticket sales, and I talk about keeping business simple, and I talk about, what else will I say? Sometimes depending on the message, I might say you just need 2 sales, right? 2 sales a month to achieve 10K months, or whatever it might be, right? My message has also evolved as my audience and my offer has evolved, right? But essentially that's the key, right? To get your messaging really, really clear. And when you're talking about, all right, let me actually go through each one. So, like I said, the tangible piece is in my case, right? You've got to think about what it is in your case. It might be that my clients want 10K to 30K months, right? And I know and they might want it even in a short period of time. It might be in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, right? And so I'm not going to make promises that I can't keep, yeah? But it's about a promise that you feel confident that you can deliver because you've been able to achieve it for yourself, or you've been able to achieve it for your clients. Yeah, that's the key. So when I'm talking about without the pain point, right? I might be talking about things like without needing a large audience, without doing cold outreach, without Facebook ads, without more recently I've said without getting on sales calls, right? Because I've been able to achieve that. So that's where the without part comes in. It's essentially removing the pain point, right? The thing that our clients really, really don't want to do. And your method could be just it's your own methodology that you're going to take people through, right? It could be a system that you've created. And this is the sort of stuff that I work through with my clients, and we figure it out together, right? To create something that's unique and different that they do. Because every single person, whether it's, a Reiki practitioner or a hypnotherapist or a business coach or a life coach or whatever it is, we're all doing things in a slightly different and unique way, right? And so sometimes it's creating our own methodology that incorporates maybe a few different modalities, and we give it a name, and then it sounds unique and it becomes our thing, our one thing, right? Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know. So, do you have a clear message? I can't emphasize how important this is, right? To get this part right, because this is what clients buy. Yeah. They're not just buying coaching. They're buying the result. They're not buying your product. They're buying the result. They're not buying your modality. They're buying the result, right? I hope I've hit home with that. Reach out. Let me know in the DMs if you want more clarification on this, but this is exactly what I help my clients with, right? And this information that I'm sharing today, gorgeous ladies, I promise you, this is exactly what my clients get too. Yeah. Except with my clients, I'm able to give them very specific feedback, and we go through things in a bit more detail. That's the only difference. All right. The next thing, audience. The bigger your financial goal is, right, the bigger your audience will need to be. Now, having said that, with high ticket, your audience needs to be just a fraction of the size compared to low ticket, right? So I'm going to look at some numbers here. So bear with me as I go through with some numbers with you, right? If your goal is, let's say, 100K, yeah, 100K in 12 months, let's say, And let's say your offer is $5,000. I'm going to go with easy numbers for my brain today. Yeah. Then you only need 20 sales in a year, right? Now, some of you had a 250K offer or a 300K offer, yeah? The same rules apply depending on your price point, yeah? And clearly, as we are targeting higher price points, higher goals, it means we're slightly more established and we can potentially be charging more too, yeah? So you might be, if you have a goal of 300,000 and you're charging $10,000, let's say, just for round numbers, you just need 30 sales in a year. Yeah. But if your goal is 300,000 and you are charging $20,000 for your offer, then you only need, my brain won't work. Is that how many? How many? My brain doesn't work. Tell me, gorgeous ladies. My maths is usually really, really good, but not today. Not today. I've really got brain fog and I'm really relying on my notes that I've got in front of me. And so that was really dumb of me to come up with an example that I can't actually follow through on. But gosh, COVID, right? It really kind of affects your brain, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm able to respond really well though still. So, yeah, just grab a calculator. You'll figure it out. All right, so now statistically, we're talking about audience size here, right? Statistically speaking, 2% of your audience is ready to buy at any time. Yeah, this is statistics. This is not Anne Ryan numbers. This is just statistics. This is generally speaking. Yeah, and so that's 2 out of 100 people. Yeah, 2 out of 100 people are ready to buy at any time. Yeah, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but that is statistics. Yeah, so if you need 20 sales at $5,000 to reach 100K, then statistically speaking, you need an audience size of about 1,000. Yeah. And you can figure it out for your own selves, right? Because I'm not playing that game anymore of where I throw in different numbers. Yeah, I thought it was 15. I really thought it was 15, Arjun, and then I just kind of didn't back myself on that because I started to overthink it in my brain, and I was like, ugh, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. It just wasn't coming clear. All right, thank you for confirming that. All right, but now. Let's say your offer is lower. Yeah, this is just numbers. Let's say your offer is $500. To achieve $100,000, you would need, at $500, you'd need 200 sales. That's right, you'd need 200 sales. Please correct me, ladies, if I'm getting this wrong, right? You'd need 200 sales, in which case, if 2% of your audience convert, you would need 20,000 people in your audience. Yeah. It's possible at a lower price point, you might get a slightly higher conversion rate, maybe 4%. Yeah. But it's not necessarily going to be 10 or 20%, trust me. This is statistics. This is numbers. This is how all the big businesses and organizations in this world kind of operate, right? They work off numbers. Yeah. So tell me, what is the price point of your current offer? And based on your current pricing, based on your current goal for 2023, how many sales do you need per month or over the course of the year? And what sort of audience size would you need to get? If you're not sure how to figure it out, just share the raw numbers with me. And later I will come back with my phone and calculator and figure it out for you, right? I'll help you out. So let me know. The more specific you can get about these numbers, right? the easier it will be for you to achieve your goals. Like, this is a very masculine strategy approach, but it works, right? We need to kind of work with masculine and the feminine, and in order to achieve our goals. And sometimes we just really need to understand our numbers, right? And your audience size is super important. And you've got to have the right people, of course, in your audience as well, right? You've got to have the right people in your audience. Having the wrong audience, having the wrong people in your audience is not going to help your cause, no matter what your price point is, and no matter how good your message is. So I'll just preface that as well. Make sure you have the right people in your audience, your target market, right? Right, okay. The biggest mistake, gorgeous ladies, that I see people make is wasting time on things that don't matter. They're not building their audience. Instead, they're going and, redesigning their website for the 15th time, or, creating funnels and things that, they're all nice to have, of course, and working on their branding and all those beautiful things that make a business look pretty and look like they exist, but they don't help. They really don't help. Truly, they don't help to move the needle forward, to achieve your goals, to make money. They're not essential, right? If you want to do it, go ahead and do it. That's fine. But all I'm saying is they are not essential for success. Right? All right. So I've covered offer, audience. The next thing is content. Content with a call to action. Let me say that. Hey Leticia, good to see you. So Leonore says mine is 3K. I need 33 clients to reach my 2023 goal. 33 clients over the course of a year. Okay, so that's roughly, easy numbers, about 3 a month. That's totally doable, right? And so maybe you need an audience size, can I figure this one out, of I can't figure it out. It's somewhere, it's probably about 150 people a month, right? That you want to try and get in front of. But you could easily, actually, if your conversion rates are higher, and I'm going to be talking about sales in a moment, right? All of these numbers shift and change too. Yeah? So it kind of all depends on, there are a few little variables that can impact your numbers as well. So yeah, you could potentially, especially because it's a slightly lower price point, you could potentially go with the numbers that I've shared before, with sort of needing an audience of about 1,000 to make 33 sales at that sort of price point. Yeah. Okay, cool. Content with a call to action. Most important, right? And I've shared trainings about this, and I'm halfway through this training now, so I won't go into this in detail. Hashtag visibility below if you want that training. I've done a whole, 45-minute, hour-long training on exactly this, the content piece, and we can get that across to you or tag you on that training inside of this Facebook group. The one thing I will say now is to share content that is compelling and relevant, and it has to be purposeful and intentional, right? There's so much noise on social media. If you want people to stop scrolling and read what you share, you have to write great copy, and you have to make it compelling. That first line, that hook, is so important, right? And this is something I continue to invest in myself and get better at myself. And also I teach my clients this, and I have a copywriting coach on my program as well who helps my clients with copy reviews and all the things, right? And I've just invested in another copywriting certification that I'm doing in mid-January, and it's where I think I met the lovely Pascal, and yeah, and I continue to invest in this because content is such an important thing, right? This is what grabs attention. This is what people say yes to, right? And it's a really important piece, yeah. And so, and your call to action is really key to get people to engage and to take the conversation to the next level, right? So, I was thinking about this as I was kind of coming up with some bullet points for this training. And in the early stages of business, this is different when you're kind of at the 50K, 100K mark, because 50K, 100K per month mark, right? Because once you're at that stage, you're reasonably more established and, oh, great, Pascala, well, I'll see you again. I know I just said your name wrong. I'm so sorry. What was I saying before? Right. Yeah, I was thinking about this before, and it is different to early stages of business compared to later on in business. Once you've built some authority and you're pretty much more established, and you know you've got all this social proof and all of that kind of thing. But let's not forget, everyone starts at zero, right? Everyone starts at zero. So don't come to me with that, and it's easy for you, you're getting incredible results for yourself and for your clients. Well, I started at zero, yeah. So it's okay. We all get through that early stage, right? But the initial stages, it really is like, when you think about taking your content to connection, right, which is the next part that I want to talk about, right? Writing incredible content with a great call to action and then leading that into connection, right? This is like dating, right? And especially in the early stages, it does shift and change as your business evolves, right? Think about it like this. Your audience, and this is going to be a different way I'm explaining it compared to what you may have heard before. Your audience are made up of your ideal soulmate partners, yeah? Like the dating game. And you, the coach, the consultant, are the offer. You're on offer, right? Your content is what gives them a first impression of you. It's a little bit like what you're wearing, yeah. And your call to action is like inviting someone on that first date, or even just to have a casual conversation. It's probably more like a casual conversation at the bar, because you've met at a bar. So you may chat to them, and in this world that we're in, social media, online, it happens in Messenger sometimes, and this is where the connection is formed. We don't talk about going to bed together in that first conversation, right? We don't try and sell them and want to invite them to meet our parents on that first conversation. We create a genuine connection. Yeah. And this is the thing that seems to be lacking so much. And I don't have any issue with cold outreach. I genuinely don't have any issue with cold outreach, and cold outreach gets such a bad rap. Yeah, I don't do cold outreach, but I don't have an issue with it. The reason cold outreach gets a bad rap is because of the way it's being done. Not all cold outreach is bad. It's just some people do it really, really badly because they've hired VAs and they've given them really shitty scripts. And then they follow those scripts and it's really bad, you know? But cold outreach is a really good strategy that works. I don't do it. I keep saying that. I don't do it. I choose not to do it, but it works. And I admire people that do it well, and it can be done well, right? And same thing, I'm talking about taking your content into Messenger, or taking the conversation into Messenger from the content, right? And it's not cold outreach. That's warm. People are wanting to have a conversation with you. And even then, right, the connection is so important. Yeah. And yeah, I can't emphasize that enough, because then that connection leads to the sales conversation. Yeah. So let me know. It feels like cold sales calls of old. Absolutely, Deb. You know, and the thing with cold calling, cold messaging, all of those things, those strategies work well when done well. Yeah. They're just not being done so well, and so they get a really bad rap. But you know, if I've actually hired VAs and other people, can't think of the word now, for various tasks that I've needed doing from a cold outreach that has been done well. Yeah, because at that particular time, it's perfect time, perfect place. Why not? You know, and I'm open to it. I don't treat people like shit either, even if they're spamming me. You know, yeah. Anyway, oh my gosh, that was my first cough, so I could end up with a few more now. So I better get a wriggle on this training. So, do you get that analogy? Or you know, it is a little bit like the dating game, and some people need to go on many dates, right? Some people need to go on many dates before they will say yes, or before they say yes to that next step, right? And that next step is the sales conversation. Yeah. So the connection is really important. We don't need to rush it, and yeah. And that's the next step. The sales conversation, right? And again, it becomes about the numbers. So going back to, I've totally lost my spot in my notes as well, because I rambled about something different. Okay, so okay. So, all right, I've got my numbers back. All right, so we talked about audience size, right? So the audience size is relevant because, so let's say you need, let's say for random numbers, you guys can apply this to your own situation. Your goal is 100,000 and your aim is $10,000 a month, right? Easy, round numbers. Guys, bear with me, easy numbers, that's important to me. All right, say your offer is 5,000, right? And you need 2 sales a month. That's it, 2 sales a month, right? The higher your conversion rate is, the less people you'd need to connect with. It's as simple as that, right? But let's go with some low numbers, right? Let's say you tend to convert 1 in 5 people. Yeah, that's kind of 20% conversion rate. That's sort of on the lower end. If you're converting lower than that, we have a problem. You need to really get better at that, right? But I want to go with some really realistic numbers, because it's possible to convert at 60% and 80% too. But let's not even go there yet. Yeah. So you'll need to speak to 10 people in order to convert 5 of them, right? And this is, I'm talking at the point of the sales conversation, right? So working backwards from that, right? You would probably need to, yeah, and so working backwards from that, you will say 1 in, oh God, how am I trying to explain this? Right. Okay, so let's say you convert 1 in 5, like I said, and so you need to have at least 10 calls per month, right? And there are 4 weeks in the month. And so, you know, you might want to aim, you can't aim for 2.5 calls, right? So you might want to aim for about 3 calls per week, right? So to get 3 calls per week, how many messenger conversations do you need to have? That's the thing. That's what you need to figure out, right? You might actually need to have about, I don't know. It depends on how well how good you are in your messenger conversations, right? But say 1 in 4 people that you chat to on Messenger tends to say yes to a call. Taking that next step, right? So whether it's 1 in 4, 1 in 5, whatever it is, right? So you've got to figure out these numbers. These are all really important. So let's say it's 1 in 4. So then you need to have 40 messenger conversations in a month in order to book, let's say, 10 calls in a month, in order to get 2 sales in a month. Yeah. You picking up what I'm putting down here? I know this might be boring, but this is really important, right? This is how you can predictably grow your business. This is not leaving things to chance. This is not like, hoping, right? This is a roadmap. This is how to predictably grow your business. Yeah. And sometimes some of these numbers are boring, but it's important for you to understand them, right? So you need to figure out how many people, based on your goal, how many people you need to speak to, right? And track these numbers and measure this, right? Because if you're tracking the numbers, you can actually improve. But if you have no idea of your numbers, what are you improving? You can't improve something you don't measure. Yeah. So it is a lot of conversations, Pascal, but if you actually look at it from the perspective of on a daily basis, right? It's possibly not. I don't know what's happening in your messenger, but also the higher your conversion rate is, the lesser conversations you're going to need to have. The higher your ability to connect, the lesser conversations you're going to need to have, right? The more focused you are on serving and not burning people, right, by trying to go hard and fast, it becomes so much more of a numbers game if you do it the way some people are doing it out there, where they've just got VAs and scripts and they're just totally doing the churn and burn numbers, right? These numbers truly get less and less and less depending the better and better you are in messenger conversations, in genuine connection, in your sales conversations, and all the things, right? And then there comes a point also, by the way, when you don't even need to have sales conversations. And you don't even need to have these messenger conversations, because at the front end, your business is so much more established. So this is, I'm kind of really, this is what I mean about, there's a slightly different approach to that first 10K, first stage in business, the first 10K months sort of stage, through to the 50K, the 100K month stage. Everything shifts and changes. In many ways, it actually gets easier, right? It gets easier as your business is more established. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Sounds daunting initially, but when you become clear on your niche and good at sales, the numbers are a lot smaller. 100%. And when you start getting client results, the numbers get a lot smaller too, right? Because the client results start selling your business for themselves. Does that even make sense what I just said? Gosh, I'm struggling here today. All right, so once you nail messenger conversations and you nail sales conversations, right? Like if you're converting 4 out of 5 people that you speak to, which I have done myself at times, right? Now I'm converting people without even speaking to them. Yeah, it gets easier and easier and easier. This is mastery, gorgeous ladies. This is mastery. This is not shiny object syndrome and let's go and learn a whole nother 1,000 other things that are out there and create funnels and websites and all the other things. This is about simplicity. Simplicity requires mastery, right? It requires just doing a few things. Going back to your question at the very start, Tamika, these are my daily things, right? And a lot of this now I don't even have to do because my team, Jacelyn helps me with it. Yeah, I don't even have a huge team. It's essentially just Jacelyn and me. And, Jacelyn's having most of the messenger conversations, and people are just buying straight from messenger. So I'm not even getting on sales conversations. I'm still willing to. If people want to have a conversation with me, of course, I'm willing to do that. But I'm selling without even getting on calls now. So it all shifts and changes, but that's part of the evolution of your business, right? And you can run your business without doing any of these things at the beginning, but then it takes a lot longer to get results, right? Because once you're more established, you can actually get away with doing less. But whilst you're getting established, you kind of need to proactively do more to predictably, yeah, that's the word, get results. Yeah. So that's it. That's essentially it, right? And then this leads me. So, the more you start converting, the less numbers you need, right? And then the sixth point that I made was delivery. The better the results you start getting for your clients, and the more you start promoting those results that you're getting for your clients, it's a game changer. There's no better marketing, right? There is no better marketing. Yeah. Hence the reason, every single time that my clients have an incredible win, I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it because I want to celebrate them, and I'm going to share it because it's social proof that my methods work. Yeah. And I encourage you to do the same. There's no better marketing for your business than your clients' results. Yeah. And that's the sixth thing. They're the 6 things we need to look at all the time. And once you've got your offer nailed, and I only have one offer, and that's what I recommend from a simplicity perspective, you only need one offer. Yeah. You don't even need to think about your offer. You will continue to keep tweaking it and improving it, right? Your audience building is a daily activity. Your content creation is a daily activity. I create content about, 3 to 4 times a week. Sometimes when I feel inspired, I'll do one a day, but I don't do more than that. Some people do way more content creation, and that's fine. They can do that. That's their prerogative, but I certainly don't. If you watch my visibility training, you'll learn all my little shortcuts and so on around that. The messenger conversations, I used to do all of this myself, right? But now essentially the lovely Jacelyn helps me out with that. So that saves me a lot of time, and I'm not even really having sales conversations anymore because, I have enough social proof. But I always did, and I did until quite recently, and I actually really enjoy it, and I just got better and better and better at those conversations. And it wasn't about selling, it was about asking the right questions. Again, I have a whole nother training on that. Drop a hashtag sales. Let's go with hashtag sales, and we can tag you on that training. Which is really about asking the right questions. Yeah. So we are not convincing, and we don't have to even sell, because our clients, if it's a right fit, if it's not a right fit, it's not a right fit. We don't need that, right? But if it's a good fit, our clients will sell themselves. Our clients will sell themselves. Ladies, my business is simple. What I teach is simple. Every single woman who comes into my world and learns what I teach is like, oh my gosh, this is so simple, and it works. It works really well, because all we're doing behind the scenes, the information that I share in front out here with you gorgeous ladies is exactly the same as what I do with my clients, right? The only difference is the next step, right? I'm able to look at what they're doing, I'm able to give them feedback, I'm able to hold them accountable when they're wobbling and they want to overcomplicate business, and I'm like, bring them back to center, let's ground, let's work on the mindset and the belief system and all that kind of stuff, because keeping business simple isn't necessarily easy, right? Because naturally our ego will want to overcomplicate everything that we do. And I say this all the time, right? Because it's not enough. It's not enough. I need to do more. It's not enough. And that's just our ego. Yeah. It can be simple. It can be really, really simple. And I am living proof, gorgeous ladies. And I have now got so many clients who are doing the same. So let me know whether you're watching me live or the replay. If you have any questions at all, I'm more than happy to answer them for you. If you'd like to explore working with me, send me a DM or drop hashtag roadmap. I think that's what I decided the hashtag would be. And I would love to support you. 2023 is going to be an incredible year for us all. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind, and there's really no better time to start than now. You know, hit the ground running early in the year. And you know, I work with my clients for 12 months, and we massively overestimate what we can achieve in a day or a month, but completely underestimate what is possible in 12 months. And that is why I love working with clients for 12 months. I used to work with them for a shorter period of time, but now I've stopped offering shorter offers because, again, I've massively simplified my business, you know, and this is what it's all about. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you so much. Thank you, gorgeous ladies. I appreciate you all, and whether we work together or not, because I know there are amazing coaches out there, and you are also, you know, you all deserve success, right? And I wish you absolutely the best in 2023. Thank you so much for watching.